Hello everyone! This is Saurian Target welcoming you back to another mini Carnivores mod showcase, where today I am so excited to finally bring you guys what is easily the most innovative, important, and game-changing Carnivores modding experience yet. The Modders Edition engine, or the MEE, built by the master programmer Ornithomimid1, also known within the Carnivores community as Oli. It's been such an incredible experience to watch Carnivores modding evolve over the years. From the first ever reskins to the first custom models and brand new maps, all culminating together in the fantastic total conversion mods. And even seeing some very cool, if a bit buggy, new programming features popping in and out over the years, like the extended canon mod and the alphas method. The strength of the Carnivores community has always been its perseverance and creatively working around the limitations of this 22-year-old engine. It's been fantastic to see what the community has been able to do given the restraints, but it's always felt like there's been a glass ceiling on true, groundbreaking modding progress that we never could quite crack. That ceiling, however, has just been shattered. I've showcased and teased bits and pieces of the Modders Edition engine's progress over the past few years, from the pack hunting AI to aquatic AI and everything in between. But now, the engine is finally ready and available for everyone to enjoy, with more updates and features still on the way. Oli has put together an incredibly detailed and thorough manual covering all of the engine's new features and how to use them, and I'll leave a link to that manual in the description. Obviously, based on the size of this manual, we're not going to cover every single aspect of the engine in this video today. But we are going to cover the big changes and talk about just how much Carnivores modding has changed forever. So without further ado, let's begin. We've talked before about the monumental new pack hunting mechanics Oli has programmed into Carnivores, and the feature has now been fully integrated into the MEE. It is applicable to every animal AI, so you can have packs of predators or herds of herbivores. The sizes of the packs and herds can be adjusted, whether or not they stay together as a group after being startled, how close the animals stay together in a group. Every aspect of this feature is completely customizable from the RES file, giving modders complete control over the sociability of their packs and herds of animals. I've already implemented this feature into the latest test build of my own mod, Carnivores Genesis, with great success, creating herds of Stegosaurs and packs of Utah raptors roaming the islands. Something we've always dreamed about, and it's fantastic to finally see it happening before us. We've showcased the early stages of a Killable Brachiosaurus before here on the channel, watching it grow in bits and pieces, but now the feature is complete, and it is a marvel to see. If shot, or even just startled by a gunshot, the Brachiosaurus will react, retreating if far enough away, or charging if close enough. Although slow, it is appropriately tanky, and will require a great deal of firepower to finally bring down. If a Brachiosaurus manages to catch up to the player, however, it is now dangerous, and will crush them underfoot, adding a sense of realism and danger to this majestic beast. This type of dangerous Brachiosaurus AI can even spawn inland if desired, freeing the dinosaur from the restrictions of living near waterways. No longer just a solitary set piece, the Carnivores Brachiosaurus is as real as it has ever been. Perhaps the most game-changing new feature in this engine is the addition of multiple customizable AI slots that can be added to any map, meaning modders can now add map-specific animals or uncommon and rare animals that will spawn alongside the main huntable roster. The base MEE uses the Triceratops and Pachycephalosaurus from Carnivores 1 as examples of this feature. The dinosaurs are set to spawn in rarely at random. They can't be selected from the menu, they can't be tracked via radar, hunters just have to hope they'll encounter one in the wild. The MEE accomplishes this by cloning the main roster animal AI slots and then treating them as their own separate animals. And the specifics of these new animal AI slots can be completely customized independent of each other. Their speed and aggression can be adjusted, where and how frequently they spawn, the time of day they spawn, whether or not they can be taken back to the trophy room, which kill or death animation they use, whether or not they can swim. Nearly any aspect of these creatures can be customized to provide players with the most immersive and realistic experience possible. I've also implemented this mechanic into the newest build of Carnivores Genesis, and the results have been amazing to see. So here's an example of the feature based on how I'm using it in my own mod. Female Stegosaurus have been made the default Stegosaurus variant on the main hunting roster. They are now the first animal on the roster and spawn in herds of 3 to 5 animals. They are not overly aggressive and will only attack if hunters get too close. Male Stegosaurus will spawn in alongside the females, recognizable thanks to their darker coloration and patterns. Males are solitary and do not travel in herds, but they are very aggressive and will charge hunters if startled or wounded. They can't be selected from the hunt menu, you just have to find them in the wild, but they can be brought back as a trophy if you manage to take one down. An uncommon desert variant of Stegosaurus has a chance of spawning in only on desert maps or in desert areas of certain maps. They do travel in herds and are typically not dangerous unless the player gets too close. Like the male Stegosaurs, they can't be selected from the hunt menu, but they can be brought back as a trophy. And a rare albino variant of Stegosaurus has a 1% chance of spawning in a hunt at complete random. It will be solitary and very skittish, and will not spawn in during the day, only at dawn or at night. It can't be selected from the hunt menu, players will just have to be lucky enough to encounter one in the wild, but it can be brought back as a trophy. This feature exponentially increases the amount of replayability for Carnivores mods, allowing modders to add in sexual dimorphism, uncommon or rare variants, and even entirely new huntable species. For example, once it is removed from the main hunting roster as scheduled, Utahraptor will still be available to hunt in Carnivores Genesis, it just won't be selectable from the main hunting roster. One pack of them will have a chance to randomly spawn in only on the Ashes of Eden map at dusk or at night. Each map can support up to 42 new animal AI slots and a total of 244 individual animals, increasing the populations of the worlds by a staggering amount. No more hunting the exact same 10 dinosaurs over and over again. The worlds of Carnivores can now hold thousands. We're gonna need a bigger trophy room. These new AI slots are not limited to just the terrestrial dinosaur AI, however, as there are also fully aquatic fish AI included in the MEE, fully customizable just like the rest. Each fish AI has adjustable spawn locations, spawn depth, number in a school, spawn frequency, and many other variables, with the base engine including 3 fish variants as examples. These Parexis are set to spawn in the shallow waters to the west of Delphius Hills. These pink Parexis are set to spawn only in a little pond in the northeast corner of Delphius Hills. And these Clemacius are set to spawn in deep water around the coast of Delphius Hills. The waters of the dinosaur planet can now be filled with a diverse array of aquatic life, truly bringing the worlds to life in such an immersive way never before seen in Carnivores. Aquatic and terrestrial AI are not the only ones to include new features, as the stellar Ichthyornis AI has also been included in the engine, able to seamlessly travel from land to water to sky at will. These birds are set to spawn along the coastlines of the islands, and as with the other AI, have a host of variables to customize them to each modder's liking, including location and frequency, flock size and takeoff or landing speed, and many more options. Not to mention, Oli has crafted a beautiful new Burian-styled model and texture for the birds, allowing them to blend in seamlessly with the established canon. The Carnivores games no longer have to rely solely on 5 ambient animals and some ambient sounds to sell the illusion of a living, thriving world. Now environments fully populated with birds and fish and other endemic species are attainable. And perhaps the most impressive and probably the most popular of the new features included in the MEE is that of a fully functioning Mosasaurus Ai, capable of hunting and killing the player if they decide to venture into the water. The monumental impact of proper Mosasaurus Ai in Carnivores cannot be understated. This feature has been requested from not just Carnivores games, but dinosaur games in general since dinosaur games have been around. And now, dangerous mosasaurs are in Carnivores. And just like all the other AI mentioned so far, it is fully customizable, allowing modders to adjust these marine predators to their liking. How frequently they spawn, how deep in the water they spawn, their aggression and danger levels, which kill animation they use, everything needed to give Carnivores modders and players the most immersive dinosaur hunting experience yet. We used to be able to retreat to the water for an advantage in Carnivores, but now the waters of the dinosaur planet are just as dangerous as the islands themselves. This has all been just the beginning of what the MEE is capable of doing for Carnivores mods. In addition, every dinosaur and their animation orders can be reordered to go anywhere in the roster. So if you want a T-Rex AI creature as the first one on the roster, you can do that. Each animal can use up to 32 custom animations. Animals can be set to charge or run away if they hear a certain dinosaur's call. Every animal statistic can be adjusted from their speed and aggressivity to their swimming and death and kill animations, and whether or not the animals can be seen by radar or collected for the trophy room. And with the most recent update, Oli has included Ice Age AI in the MEE, and is currently working on an update that will allow modders to set custom trophy room poses Primal Prey style, which is going to open up tons of possibilities for displaying our victories. To say that the Modders Edition engine is the greatest and most revolutionary breakthrough in Carnivores modding yet would be an understatement. The game has literally changed forever, and the limitless possibilities brought in by this new engine have given Carnivores modders more to work with than we have ever had before. I personally see this as the new standard for Carnivores mods. The same 10 to 15 animals over and over again worked when it was all we had, but I just don't think that's gonna cut it anymore after this. The sheer amount of variety and replayability brought in by the MEE rivals what a lot of full-fledged games are capable of producing, and I cannot wait to see what the community continues to do with this technology. A job well done to Oli for finally making this a reality. Now, when a mod is released on the Modders Edition engine, I have to caution you to not go into the game's files, especially the RES file, and make any changes. I know we're all used to going in there and messing around with our score and the animal sizes just to have some wacky fun after we've played a mod enough, but everything in the mod's files has to be so specifically calculated that even the slightest apostrophe out of place will result in you not being able to play the mod. And with all the variance in mods, there is so much information in the RES file that you will probably never find where you messed something up. The new RES file for the new Carnivores Genesis build I'm working on is nowhere near being done, and it's already about as long as a book, and I have to be super careful every time I go in there to make an edit. So just as a warning, stay out of the new mod files, or you might end up having to start all over. Alright, so there you go guys. The game-changing Modders Edition engine is finally available. And as always, I'll leave a link to its ModDB page in the description below, as well as a link to the glide files you'll need to run the new engine. For legal purposes, we can't bundle the glide files with the mods, but just download the glide files from the website and drop them into the mod's main folder and you'll be good to go. So what new and exciting mods are you guys planning or wanting to see with all these new capabilities? What's the most impressive feature you've seen so far? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks as always for watching, guys. You are all truly the best, and I will see you guys next time.